Good evening. Happy Monday. Monday the 17th. Happy March 17th. This will probably be short. I guess that's like my catchphrase because it's something that never happens. But I always say it. I don't think catchphrases need to be things that don't ever happen. But yeah. On today's whatever you want to call it. Oh my gosh, my brain's already like, what? What is going on? On today's live, on today's video, it's a little mishmash of a lot of things. Some entertainment, just like various entertainment news that sounded quite interesting, but not deep dive worthy yet or by me. Um, and a tiny bit of Blake Lively. Actually, this is Leslie Sloane type of legal filing catch up. And 90 Day Fiancé and Suits LA, because we were talking about Suits LA on Friday. And I got curious and I watched it all up to the last episode. I think I watched last, was it last night? This weekend sometime. I don't know, the last episode. I think I watched it in full. So I'll just dive right in. Hold on. Alrighty, we haven't even started. I'm yawning. I've been enjoying it was hard to get on here today because I've been enjoying what seems like it was a very long weekend, but it was enjoyable. I went to Zumba for the first time yesterday, and I'm going to feel it tomorrow because it always takes me like 2 days, and then yeah, met up on Sunday with people, on Saturday with people, and then Friday I just like was lazy. I was so tired, but anyways, so it was odd to come on. I think it's always odd after 2 days, but unlike Friday, today's Monday. So it's like, oh, I'm excited for the week to start, but I feel the start of the week, it feels different. Anyways, I wanted to say something about just one tiny little comment about the Meghan Markle thing. Two. One is I seem to have lost followers when I started talking about her, Meghan, however, and it was interesting because my followers kept climbing and then suddenly it dropped to like minus, I think, 4 followers in total. Now they're back up, but it was interesting. So lose some, gain some, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I do wish people would say, hey, I unfollowed you because, I didn't agree with this or whatever. Just kind of like, an exit interview, or not exactly an exit interview, but where like I can use that information. It can be anonymous. Maybe I should like try to do something. It could be anonymous, but it might help me understand what I can do better. Like you drag on arena, or you say a lot of ums. And I'm sure a lot of that would be like, I just don't like you. Okay, fair enough. I also would like to know why, because I feel like that could also potentially be interesting and, helpful. But yeah, unlike, getting those comments. Hi, Maria. I forgot to watch Suits. My day was so busy babysitting during spring break. Is it spring break? I'm so displaced from school. Oh no. I just realized because my little brother is in school, in high school, and that means he's home all week, which means actually it's good for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Fun. I was wondering why he was home today. Yeah, I started watching the old Suits and I watched the LA one. And I'll talk in a second about that. Um, Podcasts. People, I want to understand. I do want to understand. Not I do want to. I do want to understand why people are bullying Megan of Sussex or Markle, whatever. I want to understand that because I understand some of the complaints, and some are very fair, and some are like deep diving, like, hey, this is what's wrong. Cool. Totally cool with that, obviously, you know, in light of the Glamour magazine of it all, great. We're doing our homework, you know, putting the truth out there. Cool. But I see a lot of actual bullying. And what I kind of mentioned this on Friday. What I consider that being online with content creators is it's one thing to bring up like, ooh, she lied about this or she did this or this other person she copied this person or whatever. And another thing to like, and there's that one guy doing this with Blake Lively as well, put a wig on or like I don't know, but I've seen so much more with Megan than with Blake. And like do, things. There's like the one-offs, okay, cool, like a mockumentary, whatever. But then when that's like your whole content or you like scroll, and this is mainly TikTok, you scroll and it's just a trend of mocking someone without actual giving insightful information. I don't know. I also don't feel very comfortable with the Blake one either. I might get more unfollows. I don't know after saying this. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it can be funny, but a lot of problematic things were funny back in the day. Um, and again, I think there's like a fine line. I think there's like creative expression, and I feel like it can be tasteful. But I don't know. I just the ones that I see with Megan, it's just like it's kind of vapid. I don't know. But the thing that I was catching a lot on like criticism about her is like the oh my gosh, the Fox Friday Follies or yeah, is that how you pronounce it? These are with the Glamour magazine thing. Now everything sounds like ironic to that, but these are two news reporters, news anchors on a local Fox network news show, whatever. I don't know, bullying, but definitely making fun and yeah, kind of bullying, like just attacking her for like just ridiculing her, not attacking her. And I'm like, what is this? Anyways, they kept mentioning them and other people that Spotify dropped her from her podcast. Netflix will drop her from the show, etc., etc., etc. Hi, Arnaldo. I don't know her, but who am I to judge someone? Yeah. Some people would say that we're judging, Blake a lot, but I think we're judging her actions, not so much. I mean, at least for me, I know I've said unpopular things when you guys are like, no, we hate, Brendan or whatever, anyways, or you didn't say that, but um, yeah, so I try not to, but I say like judging is like human, fine, but like how far you take it and how like be humble in judging people, I guess. But yeah, these people, the whole thing of she keeps trying these ventures and failing, and I'm like, that's entrepreneurship, literally entrepreneurship. You don't see this often, maybe Fox Friday Follies people and others, but that's literally entrepreneurship. Fail fast and fail forward. You want to fail as many times as possible. I mean, you don't want to, but like just catch on to when something's not going and then pivot, whether it's pivot inside that thing, inside that venture, or pivot to another venture. And if she wasn't being successful, she wasn't being successful, and that doesn't mean that another show or another thing might be it. And the thing with, oh, I was watching, it's Keisha. I was watching her video on Hailey Bieber, and yeah, it looks kind of incriminating. The documentary, whatever she was watching for us, for one, Inception, and it kind of is. Why did that remind me of that? Like something with like, oh yeah, yeah, the cooking show kind of thing. Yeah, how Haley like literally copied Selena Gomez's, I mean, segments, introduction, style. Like it wasn't just like, "Ooh, I can have my own show in my own house," but like there were a little too many coincidences, right? And with Megan, it could be that too, whatever. There's so many celebrities that will try, how many celebrities have not released like a fragrance or some sort of like clothing line, or now their partnerships, they kind of gave up on having their own clothing line. Like, that's just kind of what you do, and you just keep going. And you know I don't know, I don't fault her for that, and I don't think it makes her less, because that's what you do when you're an entrepreneur, and she just is trying to find her niche, her little moment. And I don't know, I just don't hate her like the whole internet does. I don't know. Again, I hear like the things said that people dislike or that they accuse her of or whatever, but I don't understand. Like with Blake, we know like she like took over this movie of the director, which is not illegal, but it's like, illegal in a societal way, like in a immoral type of way or whatever. It's just not something you do. You shouldn't be able to do. Um, and there's like, I don't know, I get it, but I can't wrap my mind around the whole Megan thing. I just wanted to say that in case anyone was like, wondering, you know, podcast failing, Netflix show failing. I don't think it should fail. I think she just needs to tweak things. But, if she wants to like just cut her losses and move on to something else, okay? Because she has another podcast coming up or something. Um, all right, just fail forward, fail upward. Don't do the same bad stuff going forward. But that's just common. And like when I said like you want to do that, is like you don't want to be frozen in perfectionism, because then you will waste your whole life waiting for the right moment to release something, to go after something, to learn something, to quit your job, to get a job, to you know have kids, to get married, to not get married, to whatever. Like any decision we make, someone was saying like stop figuring out the best decision, the right decision, or the why to a decision, and just make whatever decision feels right, and then justify it. Because at the end of the day, we will never know if it was the right or wrong decision. Every decision has potentially right and wrong to it. And that's, the entrepreneurship mindset of just fail fast, fail forward, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then suddenly you will find that you have built something for yourself, that you have made the right decisions, that whatever. And yeah, I don't know, life lessons. I don't know. Hi, P. There's proof Blake lied. Yeah. Well, I mean, people will find some things that Megan has lied about, or like, but it's like, it's small, right? And I think that we're kind of on the same page. Like, comparing to something like Blake, I mean, there's just so much evidence in one particular thing. Because, like, doing whatever shows or whatever, and copying this person from here and that person from there, and or saying this, or acting like you're, or pretending you're like more knowledgeable in XYZ. Although I don't know. I think sometimes people have made some stuff up about the show, because she says continuously like she knows some of the recipes that she does, and but she talks about how this is like a learning process. This is not something that she's like an expert on. So it's like, or like making candles or something. She's like, oh, I just learned this last night, making focaccia thing, So, but yeah, people just kind of catch on to those little things. But like, I don't know, is that like enough to like put someone um in the doghouse, sort of society doghouse? To me, it's not. If you're doing something illegal, if you're doing something that's really bad. People say that she treats her crew really badly, or that in the past podcast, I think these people on the Fox thing, they were saying that she didn't like, her interviews were really other people, her staff interviewing the guests, and then she would just like read the questions. And that sounds petty. If it's real, it's messed up. It's not great. Have we all been lazy? Have we all tried to, you know, take the easy way out? And also, we don't know what she's gone through. I've been, through depression in the past few years. And sometimes I'm not gonna lie that I wish I could do something like that, where I didn't have to work hard, where I didn't have to do anything, and someone else could like help me, or I could use other people in on my staff to like do the job for me. I wish I would have a staff. I wish I would have one person. I say this to my friend a lot. I really need a personal assistant. I cannot be a personal assistant because, well, maybe, but I need my own. Like, because I'm so scattered, and it's just overwhelming, and the layer on of depression or whatever, there's just like layers of different things. It's been making it very difficult. It's been making it very difficult to like figure things out and just do stuff, just life. So yeah, like even with these videos, like, yeah, do I wish that I could hire someone to like do the chapters of my videos, which sounds like so ridiculous? Yes, I do. I mean, YouTubers have that, YouTubers who have money, and I don't know, they might still get depressed or whatever, but they have definitely a lot more um like social network, and then money and safety and all that stuff. Yeah, okay, cool. But I don't know. I don't think it's right if she does that. If she did that, learn, not do that again. But again, it's not quite the same thing. It's not quite the same thing, you know? If she's like really, really, really abusive to her staff, if she's really, really, really mean, if she's, firing people like Blake wanted to fire all these ADs, supposedly, allegedly. We don't have proof of that, except for the one, because it was injustice. I mean, we still don't have proof, but we have proof that there were ADs fired. That one, at least, through the email exchange in his lawsuit, the Wayfair lawsuit. So if that's the case, yeah, cool, okay. Um, she, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Ooh, knitting. Yeah, what are you knitting? I almost got one of those crochet buddies or whatever they're called. I was very drawn to the dinosaur, or it wasn't the bunny rabbit, it was something else that looked like it. Anyways, I like crocheting. I've done knitting, but I don't remember. But yeah, that is like so cool. That makes me so happy. I love that image. I love that image. I wish I had that. I don't know, high, not level of anxiety, so I could do that, knit and listen to like podcasts, or whatever this is. I guess this is kind of a podcast because it's a long format of someone talking. Making a baby blanket. Oh, is it simple, or is it like, do you know how to do like the fancy designs and things. Getting into knitting over here. Okay, moving on to another short one. I just wanted to say that Rachel Kirkconnell, she and her story and how she's been handling it and all of it has come at such the right time in my life because it's quite parallel, and it's like I'm definitely living a little bit vicariously through her because I don't have the resources or the opportunities she has. But watching her has inspired me. I don't have any makeup on now. I'm just like this is not how I woke up. I brushed my hair, changed my clothing, but basically this is how I have been all day. But that kind of self-care of washing my face and doing the self-care routine that I have neglected for so many years. TMI, I found it hard to even be consistent with toothbrushing, which is, I might have depression. I might because, high functioning depression and anxiety. Yeah, that sounds right. Because, yeah, I remember that being like one sign where you lose, I don't know, you just can't take care of yourself that well anymore. But yeah, but it's not just that, but through the past few years, yeah, I used to brush my teeth my whole life. I don't remember the really little, but definitely like 10 years and up for sure. Twice twice in the morning and once at night. You know, brush before you eat, brush after you eat. I don't know why that's not common. It makes sense to me. You get all the bad stuff overnight, all the bacteria out before you eat so you don't ingest it. And then you brush, after so you don't smell like food. And I would go to school or, later work. And then, yeah. So my friend brushes even at lunch or after lunch. So yeah, there are a lot of different signs, but moving on. So, but I just wanted to say, if you don't know Rachel Kirkconnell and if you need a pick me up, I'll say that's maybe for some people, it's one of those, like, comparing yourself to people online. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's hurtful. To me, with her, it just makes me feel good to see her. She's beautiful. She is also just sweet. And knowing her story as well, like, it warms me up, warms my heart up to watch her posts, even though they are based mostly 99%, if not all of them, are like influencer, like buy this, buy that, buy this, whatever, everything's sponsored. Um, but I really feel like we both have felt the same urge to post a lot more after. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to mention she has a new line with this Australian brand of clothing or retailer. I don't know what they are exactly. And there's some things that I would like to buy, but I don't. I'm like on a very tight budget on an unemployment right now. So, but yeah, those are like really cool. And yeah, I don't know, just living the life, living vicariously through her. But if that's like triggering to you, then don't look at her content. I don't know. Yeah, it's a 4-row repeat. It's pretty easy. Okay, don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it. My nieces expect. Aw. Done. Yeah. Yeah. If I can, Rachel Kirkconnell, she was on The Bachelor, and it was during the pandemic, and things came out because The Bachelor was supposed to be on the Bachelorette season, because that's how it usually, the one of the contestants on The Bachelor goes to be the Bachelorette, and then one of her contestants ends up being the Bachelor, and it keeps going like that. And what came out just recently, because she broke up with her boyfriend that she met on the show, Matt James. Um, oh my gosh, so much to say and so much to reply to. But yeah, so they had a bachelorette. She was, I think, my age, or like 37 or something. When she was the bachelor, or when she was the bachelorette, she had been in this franchise trying all the different shows and stuff. And now she's happy, not from that show. But then apparently this guy was going to be on her season, but she, like, because they had the lockdown happen, she had some extra time to like dig into all these different contestants on her season, and she kind of weeded out some people that she was not interested in, or she kind of felt like, no, they're not here for the right reasons. And the guy who ended up being the Bachelor next was one of them. And there was a big thing because he was the first Black Bachelor as well. And also the first since, I think, the very beginning that wasn't in a previous season, which is kind of hard when you think about it because you have no idea what you're signing up for. Yeah, and they left it at we're not engaged because they were supposed to be engaged. If you're not familiar with The Bachelor, they're supposed to get engaged, if you can believe it or not. Obviously, most of these couples don't last because it's like, I don't know, 3 months that they're on the show. Um, yeah, they broke up and got back together, then broke up again. Yeah, yeah, they broke up because during the show was airing, and so they had, already been spending time in secret kind of together. And then suddenly a story came out that she had participated in a sorority party on a plantation. um and it was like dressed to that era as well. And it was just, I forget what they called it. So yeah, so they broke up. And a lot of people kind of say there were a lot of red flags. Me and my friend said from the beginning, the way that he responded to, not to that, like, okay, if he felt uncomfortable to that, if there was like um truth to any of like racism in her or whatever, okay, cool. Not about the breakup, but how he handled the interview on the show. um and now also looking back, hindsight is 2020, but it just feels like he was very opportunistic throughout the whole thing. Not so much about that, but that just, I don't know, he didn't handle it well. Yeah, he just consistently didn't really have her back. But they seemed really happy and really good. And I don't know, I would say they were cute together, but I never thought that. He like dressed really odd. I'm like, oh well, I guess that's nice to see that, she's, it was kind of like Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, who, like, Hailey dresses really nice, and then Justin's like in sweatpants, mismatched like shorts with a sweatshirt and sneakers, and he looks, like, where did you come from? It's kind of like that. And yeah, there's some clips of him being like really not a good person too. But they broke up in January, so here we are. As far as the three children, if I am able to have children still, um, I I I can't stop at three. I know so many people. Three is like the max. Two is also a really good max for a lot of people. I would want either two or four. I've always said this. Well, I've always said that I would rather adopt because I personally feel like um, there's too many kids that don't have, parents. So like, I'm I'm so weird. But this is since high school. I'm like, there's just too many kids. Why would I have my own? Like, it potato potato to the universe. Only I care that I have my own, but the universe doesn't care. It's all people. It's all like the same species. And yeah, there's so many that are like without parents. I felt guilty, but if I do have my own, yeah, I would want either two or four, just even. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't really care what gender that much, but three, I just don't. I think three is popular because of the. Is it because of the car seating? Because then it's like three kids can fit into, but you can't really have four kids in the back. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I go up to eight, but no more than that. I need to get better with charts. Eight kids or eight rows? Eight rows. I think I I heard about this. They broke up. Okay, yeah, sorry. Um, when I was younger and I had a lot more time and this was a possibility, I definitely want and I had more energy and um speaking and you didn't say eight kids, but I interpreted it that way at first. I wanted like yeah, a lot like cheaper by the dozen sort of situation. I feel like I wanted to be part of that, but also like yeah, have it. And I also learning about psychology. I was like, yeah, maybe that's not a good idea because you don't want to parentify, yeah, parentify kids, meaning make the older kid or kids become parents basically because you can't handle everyone, all the kids, or for other reasons. And so yeah, that's really like a no no. But yeah. Anyways, uh, gosh, I keep reading the same message. My guilty pleasure dating shows: watching Temptation Island because Love Is Blind just ended. I stopped watching Love Is Blind. Um, I don't know how many seasons ago. I've not tried Temptation Island. There's so many. There's so many. I don't really like dating shows. I was like a bachelor person, and after a few seasons of that, it was just more of the same. I don't like dating shows. It's all just like talk about drama. Like that to me is bad drama, or pointless drama. But to me, again, like the 90-Day Fiancé is like I'll get into that a little bit tonight, but it's like more calm, more chill. It has like drama, but it's like calm. It's not like oh gosh, it's not like 20-year-old drama. So I don't know how to explain it. So I give you I commend you. I don't know what's the phrase like you're my hero, P. 'Cause I can't do it. I can't do dating shows anymore. These shows are launching pads for the social media fame. Yeah, now absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to get on Love Is Blind. One for it. I thought, oh, this would be cool. And then two, hmm, not so much for the like social media thing, but I thought for like the community because a lot of these are like yeah you launch into social media fame but potentially if you can if you have success and you can like know how to grasp it but this is so sad. It goes back to like my number one wish in life ever. I was saying this to someone over the weekend, a friend over the weekend too, like um when people were like dreaming their wedding or their wedding dress or like their house or car or whatever, I dreamt of having a group of friends. So these like The Bachelor and Love Is Blind, all of these have like the people like stay in touch after and develop this like close group of friends or at least like a couple of friends from it. And so that's why I wanted to go on the show. Yeah, not so much for the fame, but for making friends. But like that kind of friends, where you're like close because you shared a traumatic experience. Doesn't have to be traumatic, but like childhood friends feel that way too, where you're like so bonded for life almost. Yeah. The three's a lot, especially these days. My younger sister had seven. She looks older than us now. Wow, yeah. Um Yeah, they do say if you want to stay young, don't get married, don't have kids. And it's interesting. I only mentioned that, and I don't know if scientifically that's true. I think it has been proven true actually scientifically, but um my mom was saying the opposite my whole life because either work to my mom it was either work with kids or have kids because they'll keep you young because their mentality. And I'm like, I don't see that logic, but when she was saying that I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the stress, if it's stressful, if you don't have help enough, or like um I mean, I think a lot of it also it depends on like the genetic stuff. Like, if kids have acid reflux as babies, that's like so stressful. We have that in our family. um and like, so all of those things can matter, but some parents have like those quiet kids where they just sleep through the night and they're just so happy and so calm. Like, what? Yeah, can we all order those kids? One every year. Wow. Yeah, it's stressful. It is. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. She loves them, but she said they were draining. Yeah. I check in and out. I enjoy all my nieces and nephews. I feel complete. Plus, I have my favorite. Bond was in. Oh, yeah. Colicky is terrible. Poor baby. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. It makes me sad if I'm just like, wow, tearing up. Maybe I should write this down as my emotional prep for sad. Um, yeah, when I think of just being like the aunt or, whatever, it makes me personally sad. Um, but it's also like people, grandparents enjoy when they're like, yeah, I I have them on their in a little bit of time a week or a day, and then they go for the harder stuff at home, kind of thing. Same with aunts and uncles. But anyways, yeah. So I was talking about Rachel Kirkconnell from The Bachelor. Um, Other little various news. I was watching Army Hammer on Billy Bush. I did not actually. I was going to go back and see if they talked at all about Blake Lively. I'm assuming they don't. They didn't. Maybe some of you were there. I am assuming that because someone else was asking that when I came in. I came in late because I was off my computer all day today. But they talked about this Jason Isaacs guy being kind of upset on the one morning show or whatever show that he was asked about his private parts basically or something. I say that I stand by him. I don't think anyone should ask that, and I think that it is a lot more acceptable for people to ask, and just like it's nothing. A man's body is like can easily be objectified, whatever. Like, you know, they can take it kind of thing, or they even enjoy it. And I'm like, they're men are people too. Like, I don't think anyone should be objectified for their body or asked about if they, I think it was like, asking if it was a prosthetic or something or whatever. Like, all of that, just, I don't understand that. And the other reason I mentioned this or I put this on was I already said this in was it A Different Man? Is that the movie with Sebastian Stan? He like popped up naked at one point. I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. If I want to see naked people, I'll go, rent or go online or whatever for like naked people videos. Like corn. But I don't like naked people. I don't like naked bodies. I don't. I just I don't. I'm sorry. I don't want that. I don't want it. But that wasn't the question. I don't think that was the topic, but that's like my little side note. Like, why? It doesn't make it more authentic. Trust me, it doesn't make it more authentic. When I was younger, though, I did feel like the censorship in the US is a little too extreme with that. Like I guess like I don't want you to censor things. I just don't just don't want to see that unless it's like absolutely necessary, I guess. And then I still don't want to see it, but I'll like be okay with it. I mean, in a different man, I was like, okay, whatever, that's like fine. I don't want to see it, but whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't want someone asking me, yeah. And they were saying like women don't. You're not going to ask a woman about her private parts. Um, I think he was wrong in that. I think even Scarlett Johansson, or no, she was asked about if she wore underwear. So that's kind of like close, but not exactly. But I feel like women have been asked, about whether they had like implants or things. So for like their boobs, or breasts, um, it's not quite the same thing. I don't know, but I guess I'm saying like that's not okay either. Like nothing's okay, in my opinion, to like dissect someone else's body. Even like with Blake Lively, there was all these pictures where she's like, "Oh, she has had all these like plastic surgeries." I'm gonna say that I cannot see it because there's makeup and there's lighting and there's age. And I'm like, there are these two doctors though that they will like break things down considering those other factors, and they'll say like, oh, this is just age, or this is this, or like this is or could be a procedure. So maybe they did, I'm sure they did one on Blake Lively probably, but to me, I'm like, I don't care, I don't care. So what? I don't know, I feel sometimes I'm like, am I, is there something wrong with me or am I just like in the right place, because like I don't care. I don't care if someone has had plastic surgery. If it's like gone really really bad, I feel bad for them. But other than that, I don't care. Don't care. Doesn't really matter to me. Doesn't really affect me. How you treat people, that matters to me, and it indirectly affects me, or could potentially directly affect me. And also, I don't feel like that's right. But what you do to your own body, like, all, I would hope that people, don't feel like they need to do that. And we can work on that. But outside of that, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I feel like I'm with that Jason Isaacs guy. Um, but yeah. And Army Hammer, I want to rewatch that because I'm curious what that's all about. But I don't know. It sounded interesting, but the chats were odd. There were just a lot against him. Um, like I don't know. Was he the one that was accused of like cannibalism or something? Or was that someone else? Because I feel like there were like two guys in the news around the same time that looked similar, and that one was, with the cannibalism accusation, and another, I don't even know. So I don't know. I think it was like Army Hammer and Jeremy Renner, or maybe it's someone else. I don't know. So I don't know if that's like what got him canceled, or like was it the I don't know anything about him. He popped up only during the whole Blake thing again, like whatever that story was, and then this one because he almost said that she was really hard to, she got him fired. Um, he alluded to that. Um, it was alluded, it was interpreted as that, whatever. So yeah, I don't know, but he sounded like normal. I don't know. He sounded okay. I was an okay guy. All right. And the other thing was everyone was like saying in the chat, like, stop swearing to both of them, I guess, or to Billy or something, because kids will watch this one day. And I'm like, have you do you live under a rock? Do you not know that most people on YouTube swear? Most people on not YouTube, I don't know, most people on non YouTube, but most, like a lot of people on non YouTube in the world swear. And also a lot of parents swear. Have you not heard that? I don't know. It's not great. It's not good, but people do it and let people like. And then you have child actors who are swearing. Like let people do whatever they want. I don't know. I don't like swearing. It hurts a lot of times. Like like I feel the pain in my body when it's depending on how people do it. But if they, especially with the F word, it's like the power, the energy that people put behind it, I think more. But I it's just I don't like it. I also feel like that whole idea, like, are you using that word as a safety word because you can't think of other words, or are you using it because that's the best way to describe something? Because swear words do have their moment. And then yeah, but I don't like hearing it. I was saying this because someone, like a hate message on Lauren's like channel, she got something about swearing or something, and I'm like, I don't like it, but it's her channel, and I like her content, and I like how she delivers everything else. So, you know, I put up with it. It's not that big of a deal. I get the difference between like children and adults. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The only problem I have is I had a friend that would swear a lot, and I asked her, please, can you, limit, die down your swearing, dial down. What did I say? Die down. Dial down your swearing around me because it's just not something that's really like it just is hurtful to me. Like literally physically hurtful. And I felt like that was a, good enough boundary ask before I knew what boundaries were. Well, my boundary was not respected. She basically said, and she didn't say F you, but she said that she'll swear if she wants to swear. I'm like, okay, but I'm not saying don't swear even around me. I'm just saying, can you please like minimize it? Because be considerate of me too. Just like I have things that I'm considerate of you with. And she just wouldn't because it's her free speech, free will, free whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So that was like frustrating. And looking back now, definitely have a history that I need to work on as far as like boundaries and, people who don't respect boundaries just not being very welcomed in my life. Because I'm considerate of people. I don't feel like I'm asking too much, especially when it's like, it was just like F just so many times in a row. I'm like, stomp, stomp. Okay, and the last bit, no, sorry, I lied. The second to last bit of random entertainment news or whatever. Um, this was like just shortly I watched, and I'll attach the Breakfast Club clip. Kanye West new song starts with, I guess, him and like Diddy on the phone. Couldn't hear. They have the clip. I couldn't understand what who was who until later, and then so on the phone was Diddy, and I didn't understand what he said, but I guess something about like thanks for taking care of my kids or something. I don't know, whatever. And the big thing. I mean, I feel like they kind of are together but apart. The two things that are kind of big is that he put his daughter North on the same track later on, and one, Kim did not want that, and as co-parents, he has to, if like the other parent is not okay with that, there's a you know conversation to be had. There's an agreement to be reached. Like you can't just do whatever the heck you want. But I mean, let's be honest, I think in those cases many times parents do that anyways. But yeah, there's so many problems when you feature a child before they're 18 online, which they're kind of both doing. But people don't say good things. Psychologists don't say good things about that. And the fact that this has Diddy on it, it's not together, but it's like it's still on the same track, and it's just like kind of a mess. And I like oh, what is his name? Charmaine God something, I forget. Anyways, the guy on the Breakfast Club, I like how he said, like, I think it was him, like, Kanye's boring. And I was like, no one said that so far, and I totally understand that. Totally understand that. Um, oh yeah, um, yeah. So yeah, it's boring because it's like his perspective at least. Kanye keeps trying to be controversial because that's like, I think that's his brand from the beginning, isn't it? Like from the very start, that's anytime that he released something or he did something, or people from the start when the world knew of him, it was based in sensationalism. And it's kind of like a drug, probably too, where you just get addicted to that reaction from the people. And so you're like, what can I do next? Have, my partner, not have any clothes on the red carpet, or, um, do all these other things, be related to all these other things. Um, and now this, like, no. I will say that her verse on that is, I really, she definitely needs, well, she doesn't need to, but if she makes music in the future, I think she'll be really good at it. I loved her verse. So, yeah, check that out for for more. I'll put in the description. I know it's not ideal, but I don't really want to get pulled into this news thing with either of these people, Kanye or Diddy. So I just wanted to mention my 2 cents on that, but I don't want to like show the song. I'll just leave that to people that have done this more and have a lot more, protection and like legal protection is what I mean, and stuff. So, yeah, because that just feels like a lot for me. There's also this article, but this is not really my area right now. If this is becoming more and more, um, that's interesting, I'll cover it. But a lot of these are just like little one off, like, oh, this sounded interesting enough to like mention, but not to like do a deep dive. Um, yeah, P. So that almost completes it completes the various entertainment news. The last thing, and I will pull this up, the last thing that I'll share before getting into the main topics is this Glamour article, not the one you're thinking of, not the one you're thinking of. Um, on by the same, because I was scrolling what other articles this lady girl, whatever, how old is she, made. And this is interesting, not the title that she has when you click like her name and scroll down, but the yeah, I'm not subscribing. Thank you. The Did she write something new? This whole NYC influencers are boring drama really about. I didn't see that one a couple of days ago. But yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar on why the Buffy reboot is especially timely. I feel like she just needs a better life, this Stephanie. I'm sorry, that's really mean and petty and stuff, but I just like reading, like, I was trying to find anything good, bad, whatever. It's just kind of like boring. And her TikTok, I know that I definitely reveled in her TikTok. So this is why MAGA makeup is about more than just contour. And I was like, what the heck is MAGA makeup? What did I miss? I didn't know this was a thing. Are we politicizing makeup? So I haven't actually read through this. I'm so bad at doing my homework. This is what this whole channel should be named, like not procrastinating and not doing my homework. But yeah, so can you spot a Donald Trump supporter in the wild? Sure, if you are a scholar of what is now called MAGA makeup. First identified by comedian Suzanne Lambert, this look. Oh, I hate that word. Dude, that's a name. Why do we have to change the word Luke? I can't even say it now. Look. I said Luke too. Why? It's just so we're like cool because we're like, oh, let's take captivated and say like captivated. Anyways, has captivated attention on both sides. I'm like, that was very triggering apparently to me. Has captivated attention on both sides of the political spectrum and says a lot about trends. Yes, eyeliner can do all that. Okay, that's not saying anything. The popular makeup styling is going viral after comedian. Okay, what is it? Gosh, this is not. This is why I feel another reason why no one reads this stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I should say this stuff because I'm, I guess, flipped in the screen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't want to go through all these hoops to like get to the point and to get the because I feel like a lot of times content creators think of like, what will my audience want to know when? You know, how to structure. I just said that I don't do my homework. But like even me, sometimes I try to think, okay, what comes first? Like, what's the playlist of? Is there any filing? Yes, there is. Okay, we'll talk. We'll see about that too. But like what comes first? What topic to talk about first? Whatever. And then I even now I've moved things around because of how it segues or like the chat or whatever. So to me, what this like the first thing I want to know is what it is. So tell me what it is, and then tell me the background. But I wonder if like even like content creators sometimes can do this where they're like, oh, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm like, first of all, this is this is not even a live video. These are like videos that are just recorded. So guess what? I can go to the end. Don't tell me wait until the last, until the end of the video, because why? Um, and yeah, like just answer the question, because after you tell me what this MAGA makeup is and show me a picture, does she even have a picture? Probably not. All of these things. Then is this it? Then I'll have more questions. So funnel all of that. Okay, let's see. Wait.
Girlies in my comments do their makeup the exact same gorgeous way, so I thought that I would try to do it myself. Starting with the base, I'm not going to do any prep at all. We really want our makeup to cling to any dry spots and accentuate any texture that we might have. Starting with foundation. Now I have cool undertones in my skin, meaning reddish pinkish undertones, so we want to choose a makeup that doesn't match the undertones of our skin, so I'm going in with my warmest foundation. Rather than using a brush, we're actually just going to apply directly to the skin and use our hands. Or I am going a little thinner and go in with my warmest tone blush, this kind of orangey color. Going in with this pure white right here, and we're just gonna over the whole.
If this is MAGA makeup, this is what I've been doing, and I've been doing MAGA makeup unknowingly. Literally, I always put like white
whole lip. We're gonna do an old-fashioned smoky eye. Now I have hooded eyes, so again, this will make my eye.
Every time I've tried to do a smoky eye, I don't even know how to describe how I look, but I don't look like I should. It's not like someone punched me in the face or I'm a raccoon. Those are probably the popular ones. I don't know. My eyes get lost. I don't have eyes suddenly because it's just all like smoky, I guess. It does not look good.
Haven't done this in years. Thank you for the inspo, girlies. I feel so beautiful. Looking so good. I really wanted to give myself that is she awake effect, so I made now
Wait,
I have hooded eyes, so again, this will make my eyes look sure we are fully lining both the top and the bottom. It doesn't matter if it's straight, just as long as it's thick, you know? And loosely follow the lash line, but don't forget that when you are doing the bottom, you don't want to miss the waterline. Haven't done this in years. Thank you for the
I'm just pausing because I'm realizing this is what I've been doing, and I've been supporting MAGA all this time, and I didn't know it with my makeup. But that's what looks good. Also, hashtag millennial.
inspo, girlies.
So I don't understand.
I feel so beautiful.
This.
Looking so good. I really wanted to give myself that is she awake effect, so I made sure to draw the eyeliner in a downward motion. Now I've got my driest mascara that I'm just gonna kind of make sure you get a little on the eyelids too, and don't clean it up.
So
just for
like,
the full effect.
Just like old people doing makeup, basically. I remember like my family friends. Yeah, like I don't do the over the lid makeup. I always do the waterline because I tried just a few times like not doing the waterline for like, health reasons. Like that did not sound to me like something I would want to do, like protect my eyes. But then it would always look bad because you get the white kind of thing. So, yeah, so it sounds like just okay. So, are all older women doing makeup like, 20 years ago, how they did makeup? Are we all MAGA supporters? I'm lost. You're probably not, I don't know if you're lost just like why I'm talking about this or where I am, or you're lost by this whole thing. But I don't know. This came, like I said, from just scrolling through Stephanie McNeil's or whatever's name, her because I was trying to get to the Blake Lively story that she did back. A New York doctor has been charged with criminal abortion. She's so all over the place. So all over the place. I don't know. But yeah, I was trying to find the Blake Lively article. Um, and I found that instead. And I was like, what the heck is this? What the heck is MAGA makeup? Where did I miss the memo on this? I did not hear about this ever until this article that it wasn't even like happening right now. Spiky mascara. Did she make this up though? This Stephanie McNeil. I mean, obviously she didn't make it up because there are people, but did she make it more of a thing than it is? Or is it like a TikTok thing and I'm not on TikTok? So, gosh. All right, let's see cuz there's a new filing for the Blake Lively thing where it told me there was a new filing, but I don't see it. Because this I am going to cover 6 minutes ago, one new docket. Maybe it just alerted me like a little late. Yeah. There's the oral argument, which I wonder if that's like in regards to this letter to of motion to stay discovery. They keep talking about in that about like we're pulled into this willy-nilly and not we shouldn't be in this lawsuit. Like, what did the judge say? The judge said he gets to decide if that's the case. They're not whatever. So yeah, just wanted to share that weird piece of not news with you. Um, yeah, there are some TikTokers who are doing GOP women make tutorials. It's a thing. Makeup tutorials. Stopped my Glamour subscription. I left a heated comment on her article. I didn't even. No offense, Maria, but I was reading or I was watching Two Birds in a Bush or whatever their channel name is. I think they're a couple. Are they a couple? Or are they brother and sister? I don't know, but they read comments, which I'm like, this is just so helpful. Didn't know I need this in my life, and why didn't I think of this? I'm over here just being so like guilty, like oh my gosh, I'm just like watching other creators and I'm like inspired by them and what they say, and I just want to add my 2 cents. These people are literally just reading other people's comments and commenting on that with their own opinion. I'm like, this is genius. They don't even have to do homework, but they also do other things, I guess. But that's not shade to them. That's literally like, why didn't I think of this first or two? But I was, yeah, they were reading how people like after 20 years, I canceled my Glamour subscription after 30 years, and I'm like, I don't understand how in that many years. How long were you subscribed, Maria? Um, yeah, she's a hater, the Glamour woman. Yeah. Um, Married 15 years, if I remember. I love their channel. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm glad they're not brother and sister. I thought they're, a couple, but um suddenly I'm like, crap, I don't know for sure. And they could be. Yeah, I like their channel too. It's so soothing. And again, it's like the channel you never thought you needed. But now that I discovered it, I was literally that's I prefer listening to that now, over like all of us, talking about this, but not for long. Just like on the off days, it's like just nice and soothing. Yeah, but yeah, I I think the glamour thing is under the lively bullet point, but I'm not going to be covering it extensively because as I was watching everyone else covering it over the weekend, just a little bit here and there of everyone, starting with Donna, she was definitely heated, and I watched hers, I think, entirely, which also, I do have this. Where's Donna? Where did she do a live and just didn't publish it? Where did she go? Was she? I didn't see her at all do a live today. Um, but yeah, so but I know she's like she was she posted a Instagram video or story, with Dave Neal doing live with Dave Neal. So I was like odd, but yeah, I just feel like part of me wonders if she just wanted to be like famous. Um oh gosh, I do have to figure out this whole TikTok thing. I think I can like copy and paste, but okay. Because when I went to this, you know, should we call her a reporter? I don't know. This magazine writer. And which she's a senior editor. I swear I thought like at first that she was just like you and me, because sometimes people are like hired to write one-off articles, or they're not on the payroll. um she's a senior editor, so she didn't even need to get her things approved. But yeah, her
There's
15.6
one really big
viewed.
misconception on the
Okay, shush. 15.6 viewed video. I'm like, what is this? She only has, well, now she has 86. She had like 70 likes. And then I think she has more than 6 comments. Oh, no, wait, did she delete? I think she deleted. Let me see in my thing, because I know I had 2 comments on here and I don't see my name. But yeah, she only has 6 comments. So either she's deleting them or people are not even like. There are a lot of comments on Instagram. But yeah. Sorry. Let me see. Let me check. This is like my distrustful nature. Oh no, it's on here. All right. So that's interesting. I don't know why. You can't even see. Okay, it's blurred. But yeah, I don't know why it's not showing up on here. But there's 9 comments total out of 15,000 views. And I didn't make a good comment. So she's not, I don't think she's deleting them. I think that people are just not bothering with it. That's my thing. Is like, let's not give her any more attention, any more anything than she already doesn't have. I mean, obviously, that's like, is that her biggest? Yeah, that's her biggest. Look at that. Non influencer. That's her biggest watch. Let's see if she has more comments here. Yeah, she has like 143 comments here and 75 likes on this other video. This one only 6. Whatever. Yeah. I posted mine on her article. Yeah, there's so many places. I wonder if she'll say anything further. Cuz I mean, like, she would be hard pressed if I would feel to just double down, but you know, I guess you never know. But and I also don't really have faith in people apologizing and saying, "Oh, whoops, yeah, I wrote that wrongly. I'm sorry, content creators, etc., etc." Just by how her words in that video. I didn't really read the article. I just read along with Donna's video what she pointed out, and yeah, I didn't get offended. I feel like I'm starting to be more like Dave Neal, where it's like, you know, maybe I'm healing more and I'm less triggered for, you know, things that I maybe wouldn't be triggered otherwise. And I'm newly triggered by like MAGA makeup, apparently. But yeah, I didn't get triggered as a non mom. As also, I did get, I guess, I didn't get triggered, but I did make my comment of like, I don't even get paid. And I'll probably never make money off of this. So, I mean, you know, never say never. I don't know. I'm still doing the content and I'm getting the watch hours, but you know, not many people like make it or whatever. And by the time I make it to have like monetization or make money off of, you know, my streams or anything off of it's maybe not even about Blake Lively anymore. So, a lot, and there's a lot of like small content creators that don't either. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry she triggered you, Maria. She thinks content creators are brainwashing us. Yeah, I posted mine on her article. She's jealous because she wanted to make the money instead of content creators. Yeah, you know, my instinct, my first thought was not so much jealousy, not conscious jealousy, I should say, but more so her really subscribing. I think, I don't know if I posted this. Oh yeah, I posted it on my channel, or I don't know. I don't remember where I posted, but basically saying like, was she in a cryo sleep chamber or something this whole time? Does she not know how content creation works? And I'm not even talking about content creators making money, but just how things have changed and how what is it, legacy media or like, the regular magazines and news outlets, how they're bought or how they're controlled, even if they're not bought by like politicians or this or that or Blake Lively or whatever. But like, I don't know why it made me think of Superman, um, and the Daily Planet or whatever the news. Wasn't there like stories in there where the guy in charge of that newspaper was like, no. I mean, every movie, everything that has some sort of magazine or news as their subject, as their like workplace environment, you see that editors, that, owners of the publications, they have final say on what goes out and it's biased. So oftentimes, or maybe not oftentimes, but it's subconsciously biased at least, like you have that decision like, no, our readers won't like this, or we need to sell papers, we can't write about this, or you know all the storylines, and that's inspired by real life. So I, I don't know, she just sounds like she's not even factual in anything. Like, yeah, some content creators are moms, some are like, digging and doing their sleuthing. Some are, um, I don't know what else I was going to say. Oh, making money. Yeah. Um, so are you. I don't know. Yeah. And yeah, the whole thing with someone was saying, I don't know if it was Dave Neal or one of the comments that the guys read in the YouTube, the Birds in the Bush or whatever YouTube, and they were saying Dave Neal's comment was just like beautiful, so well said and so nice and kind. Just kill them with kindness, um, and not really. I don't like that phrase because it's not about killing anyone, but like help them with kindness. I don't know, but someone was saying that you know she insulted the people more than the content creators because well, yeah, like her own audience. Because basically she's saying don't trust it made me think again of that like back in the days when people the like church didn't want in England at least or whatever Catholic Church didn't want their people to learn how to read because then they could think for themselves or they thought that they couldn't think well enough for themselves, so or like it was just a matter of power. Either way, this idea that, you know, you'll believe whatever we tell you. And this way, like if content creators are now in the conversation, you'll believe what they tell you. It's like maybe people gravitate towards who says what they believe. That's generally more what's happening, especially with the algorithms now. That's why we have the algorithm because it's just constant echo chamber. Feed me more of what I already believe. So yeah, um, doesn't give Justin the benefit. She didn't even. Did she even talk about Justin? Because my little knowledge of it was that she just talked about content creators. She didn't talk about the case. There was one article that she did have on Blake Lively. Ariel. Ariel. What? I can't even say. Um, this one was on December 23rd after. Oh, that was not Ariel. I was like, oh, Disney? Um, but I didn't. I wasn't able to go back to. Maybe if I just Google November. So this one is it's never been easier to destroy a woman's reputation using the internet. In wake of Blake Lively lawsuit, how should we engage? So she didn't have anything after Blake Lively filed and until now on this whole case. What about covering, like, ooh, Justin's in the ring now. What does he have to say? You don't have to even agree with him, but at least cover it, right? Um, Socials are really, really ramping up in his favor, blah, 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 whatever. According to the bombshell lawsuit, Baldoni and his producing partner Jamie Heath subjected Lively and other women on set to a barrage of SAH, bullied and fat shamed her and exposed her and her infant to COVID-19, which they both contracted. It sounds like war the way that she wrote this. It sounds, like a 15th century kind of tale. After production pause, it's so interesting because it's like most of these words are just, yeah, the words that Blake Lively alleged, but something about the way that they're like squished in together and like, other women and barrage. I don't know. It's just like psychologically, it overwhelms you. Like, whoa, that's terrible. You know. After production paused, blah, blah, when the film ramped up. Okay, this is just whatever. Um, so the lawsuit alleges Baldoni enlisted a can't even say it, cater of PR professionals, including Nathan, too. I almost read that Nemo. I'm in like a Disney state of mind, I guess. Um, Oh, and then this was like, yeah, the surprise here isn't that it worked apparently even better than the team anticipated. It was that she didn't even write the sentence right, but anyways, she split the sentence. It was that this is the first time that those who enthusiastically bought the apparent campaign are realizing they may have been manipulated. Played us like a fiddle, didn't they? A one poster in Famois. uh, the 4 million member subreddit for former fans of the celebrity gossip account Deux Mois. I feel so disappointed in myself. Another wrote, I thought I was a critical thinker. I cannot believe how completely I was manipulated by this guy's smear campaign. I cannot wait for proof of how. I cannot wait for things to be aired out. That's all I have to say to that. Stop. No. Go away. The Lively lawsuit, thus, is not only a bombshell news story, it's become a critical juncture for a now hugely influential and problematic online gossip mill that has, until this point, been completely without scrutiny by many who participate. I think she just has like something again. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think you're right that she's jealous or something. She has a bone to pick with content creators, with online. Oh, but that's what I was saying. Like back in the day, the idea, and it was kind of a founded in somewhat of a reality idea. But now it's still perpetuated in many, like, oh, TikTok is the reason the elections went a certain way. Here in Romania, that was also what they said, and all this stuff. It's like, how about you teach your people to critically think instead of blaming TikTok? People, whether on social media, which, yes, I admit it is a lot more accessible than like meeting other people, but even when you are around people, people will influence people. It's up to you as parents, and it's like that's number one, which I feel like in America, I just maybe I just grew up biased being told this, but it just feels like in America the first 7 years is what we used to say in Romania. With like the kids, parents are responsible for the first 7 years of their kids to teach them basically having character and having like I guess even critical thinking, or like, those kind of things, like things that they can take through and then, build upon. But like when we would meet someone who is rude or impolite or whatever, the phrasing is like, oh, they don't have the first 7 years of home kind of thing, which is like really sad because some people don't, and it's not because of their choice. So I'm not really saying that phrase should keep going, but the idea is that like it's upon the parents and the school system and our society as a whole and anyone in the community to teach children to critically think, and to teach any age to critically think if they didn't, get that taught to them earlier or whatever. And so, um, you know, it whether it's online or published or whatever, people don't get duped or don't get taken on a ride, brainwashed or whatever. So, but yeah, there was. I just feel like she's young though to have this mentality, but there was the mentality that, like, oh, online people are just like. Because I remember those brothers that now are boxers, which I still find it so ridiculous, but to each their own. Um, like Jake Paul and Ryan Paul, or whatever the names were. And I remember, like, yeah, back in there was a time where YouTubers especially were like really problematic. They were not good influencers. Um, but we've moved past that, I feel like. Hi Maria, welcome. Um, So yeah, that's what like it makes me think when I think of her stance on this whole thing of, um, you know, hugely influential and problematic online gossip mill. It's like no, it's not. It's actually providing a space for people. Sometimes you get roped into that echo chamber, but sometimes you get exposed to other ideas. And yeah, I don't know. When I think of like someone like Dave Neal, he is so fair and objective as a human can be, and so kind, promotes kindness, promotes critical thinking, promotes being sympathetic and empathetic, and all these things. So like, I think it's evolving. I think, you'll always have bad apples, like, Stephanie McNeil is one. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, anyways. I will say also, I have my own bone with TikTok psychology. Don't take your psychology from TikTok. There are real psychologists on TikTok and Instagram and blah, blah, blah. And there are, good examples and there are really bad examples. Um, but I guess I would alter that to say don't take psychology advice, relationship advice, life advice, health advice from people who have not been trained in that stuff. Yeah, especially not from like 21-year-olds. Unless they're like, you know, what's that woman's name? Is it ACO? Her abbreviation in New York or New Jersey? Gosh darn it, and she's a politician. I don't even remember what she is. I think it's Jake and Logan Paul. Yeah, there you go. What did I call? Instead of Ryan Paul. Yeah, Jake and Ryan. Thank you for correcting me. She never contracted COVID from the said. Please, she had strep several times. Yeah, I don't believe that strep. I don't need to see. It's fine if it's attorney's eyes only and Brian Friedman gets to see it only. I totally understand the privacy reasons, but I want to see confirmation that she truly did have strep all those times, because it sounded like to me, sounded like those people that it sounded like she lied. It sounded like she lied. I asked my friend, like, can you get strep that many times in a row? She got it, what, twice in a month? Or 3 times in a month? not in a month, but like in the past, like 2 months or something. It's like, this just sounds off. It sounds like she doesn't want to work. It sounds like she's making an excuse, especially knowing what we know now, to like figure things out, like how to like maneuver this or maneuver that, or because she didn't like things on set, or because she whatever. And she's like, no, I would just want to stay home. And I don't feel like going into work. And then if that Reddit post is true, saying that things were always late because she was always late because something was always wrong with her wardrobe or makeup or whatever. That's what it sounded. Yeah, AEO. Yeah. Uh, sorry. Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, I think that medical records should be private. But again, I think that they should come to us redacted. Uh, Not medical records, but AEO stuff. I'm okay again if Brian Friedman or Byron, if anyone, I think P, you were on Lauren's live yesterday, Byron Friedman, um, if he gets to see it and it comes up in like the conversation of this didn't happen and that's all we get to know, cool. Like, I don't need to know where she went to hospital or whatever. Just got British suddenly. So yeah. What else with Blake Lively? Kind of, since we're on here. So okay. Let me close these. I wonder if this oral argument, I don't know what this could be, honestly, but I wonder if it'll be available. It doesn't look like it'll be available. It looks like it was just a note, like someone called the judge or each other or someone, I don't know, and it's like, okay, mark that that happened. Um, so I want to pull up Ask Two Lawyers just briefly, talking about the excessive, apparently, allegedly excessive interrogatories and whatever else was there. What was the other thing? And requests. So let me pull this up. So this was yesterday's filing. Yesterday? Today. Yeah, I guess today. We represent Leslie Sloane and Vision PR in the above captioned action pursuant blah blah blah. We write to respectfully request that the court stay discovery. Why hasn't stay evolved into hold? But anyways, stay discovery as to the Sloane parties until the court resolves their pending motion to dismiss, which is now fully briefed. So they're just literally just waiting for the verdict or whatever. Is it a verdict or answer? Whatever. The judge to say what he'll decide, his decision. And some other things. The Wayfair parties served a striking 370 requests from production for production of documents and 18 interrogatories on the Sloane parties, granting stay where plaintiffs served broad ranging and extensive requests, including 43 different document requests and 11 interrogatories. So that was like in this other lawsuit or whatever, Cohen, whatever it is. Um, oh, is it by the same judge? Interesting. Um, Saying like state discovery was granted. Um, and it was like even less stuff. But based on, so we'll go into what they said. Based on what they're saying, it sounds like that's not the reason. The number is not excessive.
Says the Wayfair parties served a striking, she calls it striking, 307 requests for production of documents and 18 interrogatories on the Sloane parties. So is that a lot of discovery?
The interrogatories are very reasonable, and people need to understand the document requests. That's where we're going to have our largest amount of things we're asking for, because we don't want to miss any documents that are out there. Probably, how many were there? 300 and some?
370.
370. I mean, that's work. There's no doubt that it's work to get through that. But the fear you have as a lawyer is the other side has a document, and if you don't cast a wide enough net, you're not going to get that document. So of those 370 requests, She may only have documents that respond to 100 of them or 50 of them, right? And she'll have to give those documents up, but they wanted to make sure that they were getting all the documents from her.
Yeah. So she's saying
So I think the argument that I hear either people on content creators asking content creators or commenting on whichever make is, or maybe also Leslie Sloane, is, well, but if you weren't okay with Blake Lively casting a wide enough net with the call history and all that stuff, why should this be any different? This is the question that I heard spoken by some commenters, who knows where. Like in my mind, I feel like that's a question that comes up. It's a question that would come up in my mind, at least, I guess. And to me, I feel like very different. Very different. I think I don't also understand what these documents are, but I trust these lawyers as well, to say like what's like usual or whatever. I'm curious if they say anything else going forward, but um, yeah, that's what I feel like the objection is, like, you know, why should they cast a big enough net? I think it's not quite as big as like 2 years worth of location and call logs and texts and blah 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 blah. Oh, night P. Bye. Hope um the blanket went well tonight.
it's striking. It's not, I don't think it's that striking. Like you said, 18 interrogatories is really no big deal at all. The 370 document request, okay. So she wants to stay discovery until her motion to dismiss is decided by the court. And she's saying it's fully briefed, which she's right, it is. And at some point, then they'll have a hearing on that and see what the ruling is. So it'll be interesting to see if the court gives Sloane the same deal that he did the New York Times. I think it is a little different, though, because, you know, we've mentioned this before, but Sloane does not have the fair reporting privilege. So her chances of succeeding on the merits is very different from what the Times arguments are.
True. And the judge has already laid out his schedule for this case. And so the minute you start staying discovery for multiple defendants, you're really putting Justin Baldoni and his group at a disadvantage for making those deadlines, getting the depositions after that, getting the expert depositions after that, getting ready for trial. It sets things back. So if I was a betting man, and I'm not, I would say the judge probably allows the discovery to go forward. Maybe he curtails the 370 document demands. But again, document demands generally, there's no limit to them, at least in California, there's no limit to document demands. As with any rule, you have to use it within reason. And so if you think that you need all of these documents, and I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're asking for a particular statement on a particular date and a particular time, but there's multiple asks for these different various statements. You might ask, just to make sure you're getting all of them, in 10 different document demands for those particular documents. Whereas if you did them all in one, what do you get from the other side? The other side says, "Oh, we don't know what you want.
Yeah.
You asked too many things."
I'm so confused by this. I'm so confused by this. So I just, again, I trust these lawyers. So I'm just going to go with that. But I'm so confused of what this means, because, yeah, like document asks. Because in my mind, it's like they're asking for 370 documents. But I guess it's not that. It's like, what do they say? Production of documents, 370 requests for production of documents. So it's like 370 requests. So to what he just said, the request could be like, for this purpose, we need this document and this document. For this other purpose, we need, document from that first request and this other document and this other document. So I think that's what they're saying. So it could be like, again, my understanding could be like 370 things that they're trying to investigate. I don't know. So to read the other highlights, all documents and communications, employees So each document request seeks all documents and communications concerning a wide range of entities and individuals, as well as all of their employees, representatives, agents, subsidiaries, affiliates, accountants, attorneys, successors, predecessors in interest, and anyone else acting or purporting to act on his behalf, and anyone on whose behalf he is acting. Isn't Leslie a woman? Wait, what? And Jennifer Abel is a woman? Who is he? Several of which have no discernible relevance to this case. Or so they say. The Wayfair Party's 391 paragraph complaint alone confirms how burdensome discovery in this case will be. Boo hoo. Who? I feel like I don't like Leslie Sloane more than Blake Lively. I feel like I dislike her more than Blake Lively as far as this whole lawsuit, because I feel like it started with, well, we shouldn't even be in this case because we're a woman run business. And the whole internet was like, what? And after that, I think it was like downhill from there. And I feel like because they said that again, or they said something similar in the hearing on, was it last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago? And they're saying constantly like, well, we're dragged in this lawsuit. It comes up here too. Well, we were dragged in this. We shouldn't be dragged in this lawsuit. We have nothing to do with this lawsuit, and blah blah blah. Anyways, proceeding with such sweeping discovery will unnecessarily drain the Sloane party's resources. Again, boo hoo hoo. Like everyone else is not feeling the same. I don't think anyone's like, yes, we really wanted this lawsuit. Yes, we want to give away our money for this stuff. Yeah, that's exactly why we're here. Further, and time and, all this stuff. Further, as Your Honor recently observed, the burden of discovery is compounded by the sensitivity of the documents that will be requested. Here, discovery is particularly burdensome because several of the Sloane party's direct business competitors are parties to this action. Fair. And discovery will necessarily include confidential and sensitive business ... information. That's a weird choice. And then they talk about motion to dismiss could drastically, the ruling on the ruling, that's not verdict, ruling. To the pending motion to dismiss could drastically affect the scope of discovery as to the Sloane parties, because the dimensions of the discovery that is permitted may vary depending on whether they are a defendant or a third party. So they're like, well, now that you said attorney's eyes only for third parties is like, did they say a given or something? I don't know. It's like different than like parties included. We want to be excluded from this. Simply because they improperly named the Sloane parties in this action. That's where there is the Wayfair of the less stringent standard for party discovery, simply because they were improperly named the Sloane parties in this action. They even if what was improperly named? What is their arc? Has anyone wrapped their minds of why they shouldn't be, besides because they're women owned, why they don't belong in this lawsuit? When text messages show that Leslie Sloane was at least, talking with Jen Abel for good or bad, like, and then to reporters and stuff, and issue of it, they kind of go with that. So I don't see them as a third party, as far as, oh no data. Shoot. I don't know. Sometimes Am I still on? I don't know. I think so. Stream. Wow. Can you guys hear me or anything? Oh boy. I don't know. Hopefully it's still recording at least. Man. I don't know what's going on. I'll keep talking. Sorry for the moment. I think Justin has a good case with Sloane. Yeah, I was about to say, like, and sorry if this is not on the live and just on the replay. I don't. Anyways, internet issues have been not the bane of my existence, but definitely an annoyance in this house for a long time. But yeah, so I don't see them as a third party. I'm not a lawyer. I don't really know any of this stuff, but from my understanding of so much that we've learned together, from our very limited understanding as lawyers, although, you know, maybe watching Suits LA is an interesting timing because, oh, and I'll talk about that, but like, it's about entertainment law. So I'm like, did they plan this? They didn't know this was coming. This was filmed like before. But I do, as soon as I started watching and realized that, I was like, oh, so are they going to like bring a fake case that's similar to this case? How will they resolve it? How will they go about that? I don't have a huge faith in this show, in this spin-off or whatever. I don't think it's strong enough like the first one, but maybe it'll get stronger. But my thoughts on that later. But yeah, so my limited understanding and what I've learned so far in like legal proceeding or legal matters, or maybe just my own mind, I don't see them as a third party because of the communication between Leslie Sloane and Jen Abel that was direct. And it was directly related to the smear campaign. So it wasn't like a friend that you like mention, hey, I had a tough day at work and this is what happened or whatever, you know? Like the Taylor Swift of it all. It was like a directly active party in that whole PR media thing. So I can't see them as being named third party. I cannot see them being dismissed as one of the main parties. I can't see that. But I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, I didn't do law, etc. So yeah, further, the proposed stay is limited to the time required for the court to decide the motion to dismiss, which is already fully briefed. Yeah, this is as far as I came. I don't know. I don't feel like we need to read anymore. Basically, it's just, yeah. I'm curious when this will be decided. I don't know if this is like normal. I just feel I have this like vision of this judge in my mind just like being annoyed that this is a case. And I say that not because this is actually, you know, some really tough things have happened in these people's lives and with each other and all the stuff. But I don't know, some things it just make me feel like if I was the judge, I would be like, oh, these people, and just like so over them. Kind of thing. I don't know. I think Blake, Sloane, and New York Times are in cahoots with each other. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that still needs to be proven because I think it's been proven. But you know, I guess there's still some benefit of the doubt. I don't know. Subpoena the text message. Yeah, that was like a big thing that I was seeing today. I'm really cold. And they were talking about, I don't know who they are, but someone was talking about where did these subpoenas come from. I think it was Dave Neal. He was showing this person that someone posted on Reddit, but it wasn't them. He's talking about that. Sorry. Not too long to go. Almost done, but it's like the yawning. I don't think it's like I'm not even that tired. I think I'm just like relaxing a lot more the last few days. But yeah, so um, this has come up quite a few times among lawyers. Like, you can't have a subpoena, and I don't know because maybe these lawyers are, they don't know something, or maybe I don't know, but yeah, that you can't have a subpoena without an active case or an active filing. And if she filed it on the 21st, how did she get the text messages before? You know what? I'll look now because I'm surprised that like more people haven't really dug into this part, but maybe because we just don't have enough information. But what's the other person, the other PR person? Not Leslie Sloane, Jones, Stephanie Jones. She filed her own lawsuit. And I wonder if that came before December 31st, because that was, no, it came after. Because that was, I think, where, oh gosh, sorry, where they got the text messages. So, oh gosh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. This is according to this is from TMZ. This was received in New York, I guess, on 12/24th, December 24th, 12/24. Um, this is a copy of a pleading filed electronically. Was it another date? Oh, crap. Boo. I mean, all of the articles are like, you know, December 24th. And I remember that it came later. So, yeah, what happened? How did they get, what was the loophole, not loop, loophole, where they were able to get these text messages or a subpoena for them? I mean, they mention a subpoena. So if there is no subpoena, which is something really simple to prove, right? In the filing, you don't just like, it doesn't come from thin air. There's a documentation about it. Then how much of a case do they have without the text messages? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's good. It's good. It means that I don't know what it means, but it's good if you catch yawns. I guess if you don't catch yawns, either I guess sometimes you're just not, connected with that person or whatever. But sometimes it can mean something more sinister. I don't want to get into that. So, yeah, but sorry. When I used to do my vlogs, which I was dabbling with the thought of doing like some vlogs here and there again, but which is like day in the life or whatever. When I was doing that, I used to yawn sometimes on camera or whatever, and I would edit and I would be moved to yawn to my own yawn. Or I guess even just talking about it. Also, that's like my party trick. I can yawn on demand. For some reason, this was helpful when I was in a play. I don't even remember, but I had to yawn on demand, and I was like, I can do it. Did I, or was it like just a behind the scenes thing? I don't know, whatever. So yeah, that's the subpoena with the text messages is a big one. It's a big one, like where that is. But so is on the Justin Baldoni side. I would say if we see any kind of a communication, we haven't heard anything about Jed Wallace lately. But any kind of communication with publications or hiring, like buying bots or a bot system or something, or hiring people, or any kind. I just refuse to. I don't refuse to. I can't wrap my mind around something being like, who are these people? We're not in the government, you know. The Wayfair people are. They're not, you know, double agents. This whole thing with untraceable, like, it just doesn't make sense. That's pushing it too far. I love how they say he alleges a smear campaign towards him, but with Blake, they say he was part of a smear campaign towards her. Oh, I didn't catch that. Yeah. That was New York Times that said that precedent, just as if that's a known fact. That was the video now that everyone's like talking about in this more quiet times, where Megan was saying what really happened, and everyone picking on that. Yeah, I won the depositions. I won the trial. I won the trial. I won, you know, all of it. But yeah. Then the other little last piece of Blake news is did Blake Lively's lawyer quit? According to Melanie, but not really according to her. According to this person on X, Twitter, whatever. I call it, you know, I don't call it anything, but if I would call it, I would call it X, because I don't think it's like Twitter. Twitter was nice. Twitter, like Schitt's Creek, Tweeter, you know, the tweets. But Twitter was like nice and cheerful, and I mean, it got a little, you know, not so nice and cheerful sometimes at the end, but it was like a blue bird, and you tweeted, and I don't know, it was just so nice. And now everything's so dark on there, so I think it is worthy of the word X. But yeah, so this like person alleged this. They don't, but they say they heard it from a friend that called him. I think it's a him. They called them. And so they say, like, I don't know if this is true for sure. No one else has picked this up except for Melanie. And so she has this. And the lawyer is mentioned in this tweet. I'm guessing that's Drake. I don't know. Why? Okay. Anyways, what is this? Is this? Oh, this is just like Twitter X account just for this case. All right. The latest and most accurate legal news on Drake's case against Universal Music Group, UMG. Not affiliated with Drake, OVO, UMG. What's OVO? Anyways. But they call themselves the OVO docket, and they have a blue check mark. I know you buy blue check marks. I waited so long to have a blue check mark, and now it means nothing. And I still don't have it because I'm not paying. If I don't earn it, it doesn't mean anything. So anyway, so these people posted this, that now basically like Blake Lively's lawyers are also Drake's lawyers. And I mean, Michael Gottlieb too. So it's like not just because the main person in question was Meryl Governsky. I don't know. I don't think it'll see trial. I think so, but I'm not sure of that. I'm not, you know, intuitive one way or another, but I just can't imagine that it won't at this point. It just feels like impossible for them to settle. If this was in public, okay, but publicly, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so This is, I wrote inconclusive, and yeah, the end right now. But you know, this is part of that gossip mill, I guess. So yeah, I think that's it on the Blake Lively things. Yeah. Now to move on to Suits. It's not a big debriefing on this. Just like 90 Day Fiancé is not a big one because I didn't do my homework. And I would promise that I'll do my homework tomorrow. Can't guarantee that. Because tomorrow, oh my gosh, shoot. I do have to leave soon because I have a early physical therapy appointment, like early. Before I've been even able to get up early so far in the last few months. Um, so yeah, tomorrow is going to be, well, just that. Well, yeah, just a couple of things. So, but I was watching Suits LA. I didn't like how it started. I felt like it was a copycat of itself. So I don't know if that you would still call it a copycat. It was too obvious. It was too, and I started watching the old Suits as well, and I'm not gonna, I mean, this is just the first episode, so there's no spoilers, but maybe it's just the vibe that's the same, and it's confusing to me because you want the vibe to be the same, right? When you love the show, you want a new show or a reboot or whatever to have the same vibe. But it doesn't have the same vibe. And today I was watching the old one and I saw they had cool editing effects or like camera effects and panning, and it was interesting. I didn't see the same with Suits LA, but the premise or the cast choices, I feel like were could have been better. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, not sorry because it is late. So yeah, I'm glad. Maybe that's how I should end my lives, just by yawning, so we can all just like relax into sleep after this. Um, I just noticed Twitter's background was white and X background is black. Oh, is it? I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just because at night my Chrome always goes black wherever that's supported, like the system based on like the time of day. Not after Brian deposes her and everything comes to light, she will slip up. Yeah. Yeah, that's not even a question. Yeah, I can't even. Yeah, she slips up all the times. Yeah. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe she'll put her acting skills, like her memorization skills for acting, into effect. But I mean, you're still like depending. You're still like being asked questions that you don't know when they're coming and if they're coming in, variations of them. So it might throw you off. But yeah, so with Suits, yeah, so the casting of it, the um, composition of the casting to me felt not the best choice. They could have, leveled up. Instead, they kind of like leveled down. They have, I guess it's more interesting because it's um, not under one law firm, unlike the first one or the first season of the first or whatever. But it's still like just men. Um, I feel like there are plenty of women lawyers, but yeah, it's the same idea of like men competing with each other, like being betrayed by one another, or I don't even think betrayed by one another is the term, but like, they're going at it one way or another, and they're competing with each other in one way or another. And yeah, and then women are kind of like, in this one I feel like they're even more of an afterthought, because the first one had, oh my gosh, I don't even remember the name of the characters. Not the LA one. Suits. Yeah, Jessica Pearson, played by Gina Torres. Um, she was the head of this law firm, and basically, kind of, yeah, the main partner, whatever they call it. But talking in layman's terms, because I'm a layman, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know that much, but and it's been like a couple years since I saw this, so I guess I don't have a good enough excuse. But yeah, so she was the head person. She was in charge. She had such a strong presence. She was amazing. That character was amazing, and she is amazing as an actress. And I don't know. And now they went with like the other firm has this woman in charge, but then on this side it's this guy, Stephen Amell, who I just, something about him I don't enjoy watching. I don't know what it is. I think he's a good actor. I don't think that's my problem. I may just not like him. Like, we can't like everyone. Some people just you don't like. I don't know. It just, he doesn't inspire anything in me. But yeah, anyway, so there's that. Then they have, who, I don't know if she's even a secretary. But what's her name? Shoot. She's not even in the top cast. Oh gosh. Google, come on. Work with me. Yeah, she's not even in here. I had to go to IMDb. She's awesome. If you've seen Sense8, she was in that, and she was in a few other things. But she has a pretty cool story. I think she's Palestinian. I don't know. And she accomplished so much in the Hollywood world, and oh gosh, Azita. Yeah, Azita Ganizada. I don't know how to pronounce her name right, but she's Rosalind, and I don't even know who Rosalind is. Is she Stephen Amell's character is Ted? Is she Ted's secretary? Is she another lawyer? I don't know. I don't know who she is, and she's not even really featured. Whereas Donna on the original Suits, that was Harvey's secretary, was featured. She was a strong one. She had, like, the characters were a lot more complex, especially women. It was just so well rounded and so well done and so well balanced, or at least a lot more than this one. In this one, it has Erica Rollins, played by Lex Scott Davis. That's a hard one to say completely. And she's like a lawyer that wants to be head of the entertainment department or something. And I think she ends up being that because, I guess, spoiler, but not really a spoiler. The firm splits, I guess, in two, sort of. And yeah, I feel like that's a downgrade. That's what Meghan Markle's character was, really. An up and coming lawyer. She was, I think, a legal aid, are they called, or something. So, but it was basically taking away the title of the same kind of concept and the same kind of character. And yeah, I don't know. They don't even have like a big cast. The other part that annoyed me was the son. I get that it's more efficient to shoot it inside in a studio, etc. But, like, I don't know, maybe don't. I don't know. I don't know. And it doesn't even, you don't even have to shoot in LA. I don't, maybe they did shoot on location somewhere, but this, at the beginning, I even took a picture, but I don't know where I took the picture. But at the beginning, there's also this weird blur effect. And so this is the first episode. You might, if you watch it, you might see it. The Ted guy, Stephen Amell, he sits at his desk and it's all like blurred, like, you know, on Zoom kind of blur, but not too much, just a little bit. And then there's this picture frame that's not blurred. But this is why you can see the blurring, because it's literally carved out of the blur. I'm not joking. It's like when you, if you would go to Photoshop and you're like, no, like mask this part out and don't blur this part, but blur everything else. And they didn't do it. One, they didn't do it well enough because I think it cuts into the frame of the picture. So it's noticeable that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I saw into that. But also the other part is like, our eyes, again, our minds and eyes are used to seeing perspective and depth of field. Artificially creating that wrong is noticeable. Like our brain expects, if you know, I'm making this up, but the plant next to it is blurred. It makes no sense for the only thing to not be blurred is the picture of the people. You can't even see the people, but it's supposed to be Harvey, who was on the first one. Him and Ted were on a baseball league or something together, and this is kind of a connection. And Harvey's going to come into this, I guess, later and stuff. I don't know. The other part was like, okay, like, I guess he doesn't have to be this young, good looking lawyer, but like, that was kind of the charm of Harvey. Um, he was really good looking and young and um, polished, and I don't know. And Ted is definitely not that, but you know, whatever. That's not really what bothers me. But again, that like blur effect that's very noticeable, and then the light from the windows that are also either some sort of post kind of creation, or you know, they overdid it, they overshot with the lighting. It looks very fake. Something is fake about it. And then the whole matchy matchy sentiment, that's not in a good sense with the first Suits. Um, Again, like you would want either to have the same exact character in a, you know, if it's a reboot, but it's not, it's kind of like Buffy and Angel. You know, Angel had its own distinct feel and storyline, and it was flushed out, and it was flushed out. This one is like kind of what I said with Another Simple Favor, that probably what they did with that movie, and maybe that's what they did with this one. It feels like someone was lazy. Like, oh, we had success doing this. Let's just recreate that, change a little bit of the facts, change a little bit of the story, and but you know, keep the things that worked. You can't do that. That's not how creativity, that's not how art, which is really honestly what these shows are art. You know, that's not how it works. It, you can't copy and paste and also like change a few things and then say that's different. No, you have to like have a story that's really well fleshed out. I think the intention of the story is there, but again, like the character choices, don't think that was a great one as we've come like far. When was the original Suits? It was, I said last time, 2011. So that was over 10 years ago. I don't know. You would think maybe strong female characters that you also had in the beginning, you might want to amp that up instead of dial that down. I did it again. Dial that down, you know? I don't know. Just a thought. I would think so. I would think that you would want to like show more women and strong women, or not more, but at least the same amount, or you know, this kind of, if you're going with the same kind of thing, just go with the same thing. I don't know. I don't like this whole like it's all men type of thing. Yeah. And the women are kind of like a side story and they're together. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, as far as like the topics, they name drop a lot of names. We see a few actors show up, which is kind of actually a good idea. I don't know that it's really well executed. Like Tom Hanks is mentioned, but then they get Patton Oswalt, I think that's his name. From he's not from Ratatouille. I mean, he is, but he's done way more than that. And then some other people, and yeah, it's also kind of confusing, and I think also it's not. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh about it. I don't know. I'll keep watching. We'll see. Because I also saw Suits way after it was released, and I saw it like binge watching it. You know, the whole season, all the seasons. And this one I'm going week by week, so maybe that's also why. But no, it's definitely feeling not finished yet, kind of thing, kind of vibe. And it's surprising because it's not like a new show, kind of like Abbott Elementary, that didn't have a predecessor. They just created it. Quinta Bronson, right? That's her name. She just created it. You know, I would expect a lot more from these people at Suits, who I don't know. It just looks very cheap. It just looks very cheap. And yeah, and the whole like entertainment part is, that one's kind of tough because you, we see the difficulties with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and how no one wants to get involved in it. And so to write stories about law regarding basically what a lot of Brian Friedman's lawsuits, if not all of them, or like, yeah, a lot of them are, I imagine. And he's not the only one, but he's the one that's like the most famous, I guess, lawyer, entertainment lawyer. Um, is he an entertainment lawyer? I don't know, but we know him from a lot of entertainment cases. So, to air stuff like that out, I feel like Hollywood doesn't really like that too much about it. So that's a bold choice that I don't know if it'll prove fruitful. It definitely could be captivating, but I just don't see them really going for it, because it will uncover things like this, you know, like what was the crime, the Law and Order shows. I feel like, doing that for the for Hollywood is just, I don't think they'll actually go for it. So I think it'll just be underwhelming, but cuz their main lawsuit right now is like a criminal case. I don't know. It's a little too cheesy, and a little too like, been there, done that. Let's get more creative. I don't know. Maybe it'll be creative. The one thing that is kind of cool about this um, show is that you think you know the answer, and then they spin it like, no, just kidding. So that is still, I guess, something they do. But yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan right now, but watching it. Sorry about that. Again, I also had one other thing to say, but I don't remember. About the whole law thing. Oh, slipped my mind. I'm not gonna go into all the details of 90 Days. I'm just going to briefly say I watched an episode. I think it was last night. Was an episode 4. I was continuously like, "Are you kidding me? What the heck? What is going on?" I'll mention this one story, or not even a story, but a story about a story, a bit of one of the couple stories. It's not even about one of the couples. So there's this couple, Jessica and Juan, and Jessica brings Juan here. They have, I don't know if all three kids are his or one kid is his and the rest two of the two are hers from a different relationship or whatever. Either way, he definitely has at least one baby in all the kids. But yeah, um, anyways, he comes here. He was working on a cruise. I don't know what he was doing and serve. I don't know. And they meet with her friends one night, and there's this one friend, Megan, as I feel like we should all call her online because it's not her fault, but her name is spelled Megin. It's like, what kind of Megan is that? But yeah, so she interrogates him, kind of, like, okay, at first it's like, yeah, okay, friends do that, did you cheat on my friend, blah, blah, whatever. But apparently this was a story for like a year or 2 years. And and he finally admits to it, like, yes, I did. The thing is that the his not wife yet, his fiance already knew about this a year ago. They talked about it, they talked through it. They're okay. They, worked it out. The couple that it affects worked it out however they worked it out. It was this one cheating incident a year and a half ago. And then this Megan person, her best friend, starts crying when she realizes that he didn't tell her, he didn't like come clean to her as the best friend of this Jessica for a whole year or a year and a half. And I'm like, what am I missing? This is crazy. She's either codependent. People are saying, oh, she probably is in love with Jessica, but they're just friends. I don't even think that justifies it though. That doesn't make sense. Why she would start crying that this guy, her best friend's fiance, didn't tell her that he cheated on her best friend, but he told the best friend when it happened, and they worked it out. But she starts crying. Like, would you have that reaction as a best friend of someone? I can't imagine where that would happen. The other part is like, I feel like the only explanation that I personally have is that she has some trauma around that. When years ago, when I dated my ex, I would start crying when I didn't even see him smoke until like later on, knowing him. But when he would and he vaped, smoked, which, the whole gaslighting of it's not smoking, yes it is. But anyways, um but yeah, like I would start crying. And so I don't exactly fully understand that, but I understood like, whoa, I have some trauma around smoking. And I linked it to my dad. My dad smoked, but he quit at one point and he kind of quit cigarettes and changed it to like a pipe. And like maybe trauma around that, I don't know, but it was definitely some sort of trauma. So I guess that's the only way I can understand her crying, but it is definitely kind of crazy to watch as just a viewer, just reacting and just watching this as a reality TV show. And you're like, what? And that was not the only person that I was like, what is going on? The other one, um yeah, oh gosh, I want to make like either a video or live for each episode or for each couple. 'Cause, oh my gosh, I have thoughts and I really do like this show. um I probably should say I hate that I like it, but I don't hate that I like it because I like psychology and I find it fascinating, and I also like reacting to things I discovered. So, you know, but there's this other couple, Mark and Mina, and Mina's from France, and she looks 43, but she's 35. And um they're an interesting couple, but they're not the interesting part. I actually think they're a pretty good couple. Um, but his daughter is, I think, slightly younger than Mina. I think she's maybe 32 or something. I don't know. But his daughter basically had a conversation with Mina, and she was so out of line because she was like, she kept saying that, I didn't want this for my dad. I didn't, because Mina had a baby with Mark. So I think the baby is like 2 years, not a baby, but the kid is now 2 years or something, maybe not even two yet. And and she wants another one. And she's like, I don't understand why it matters to his children if I have kids, basically. She doesn't say it exactly that way, but that's what she says. And I agree with her. If she and her husband, or future husband, want kids and they talked about it and are okay with that, as a daughter of people that are divorced, I never would have thought of controlling either of my parents of whether or not they should have kids, or who to marry, or to get married or not get married. That's not my freaking place. That has nothing to do with me. Maybe she was parentified or something. I don't know. It just feels really odd. And the way that she was approaching that felt really odd and so out of line. I get the sentiment of, because she was saying, but I think it's an excuse. She was saying, well, I just don't want you to, I don't want it to be that you're marrying him for the green card and you're just like looking to come here to America. And she didn't even say, and then you leave my dad. She didn't even say that, I think. She just said that, she just wants to come to America, which that's fine, whatever. If she wants to come to America, but she loves your dad, whatever. But that wasn't even her main point. Her main point, she kept repeating, she just doesn't want her dad to have any more kids, basically. And and she kept saying it in this way that was like so on to me, that she, the daughter, didn't envision that for him, as if she's his mom. It's so weird. I will say that the dad, there might be codependence there, because the dad does tell her everything, and I don't think that's healthy or okay. Um, he told his daughter right away, as soon as he had a conversation with his soon to be wife about the daughter. Like, he told on her. he like gossiped to his daughter about um his soon to be wife being drunk in the hot tub, not understanding, being shocked that his daughter has a problem with her, being very hurt, and being so drunk that she said some things like she's a snake, and she was trying so hard to explain it. She was so drunk. Why would you tell your daughter that? So I think there's definite codependence kind of thing, because when parents tell their kids like about their love life and stuff, like, that's crossing the line. Like, they are grown-ups, but like, it's more that if you treat your child as your friend, like, it's, I think there's like boundaries between your spouse and your child. Like, you can't tell on your spouse, even if it's like, both of you are the parents of this child, or, you're marrying someone other than the other parent of this child. Like, that's just such a healthy, normal boundary, but they don't have it, I guess. It was just like interesting. I'll go into other details, but those two stood out to me, like, just I couldn't believe that I was seeing and hearing what I was seeing and hearing. Um, and yeah. Um, and then there's a throuple, which a lot to say about that, but I will leave that for another time, because this went definitely way over this. I'm actually really sleepy over the time. I can't even talk properly. I don't know. Maybe it's the Zumba. But yeah, thank you guys again for being here. Thank you for putting up with my other topics that, some are just general, some are like the 90-day thing and the suits even, although like we did talk about suits, but the 90-day that I know you guys don't care about, but that means a lot that you you know give me the, what's the word? Can't think of the word. Grace, but not grace. I don't know, whatever. I'll think of it maybe for tomorrow. I'm going to go to sleep and probably should take a nap tomorrow to be fresh for tomorrow's live. And yeah, thank you. Have a wonderful night. Not much else to say. Peace, love, and compassion. And yeah, bye.